Hello everyone, welcome to myself, Max MacGillivray of Beanstalk. What a pleasure it is today because we are dialed in to Ardalan from Iran. Say hello to everyone.
Hello Max, thanks for having me. Congratulations for your great program, Max.
No problem. We were just comparing the weather in our green room. In the UK, it's about 10 degrees and it's raining, it's very cold and we should be warm because it's our spring. And Ardalan was saying it's a bit hot in Iran. What's the weather like in Iran, please?
It's 30 centigrade, very hot.
30 centigrade. And we must just mention before we move into this fantastic broadcast that we're going to have. Can you just describe what's all around you, please? What's behind you?
What is the right is the growing saffron indoors, and the left of me is the traditional saffron. I mean, growing saffron outdoors, growing saffron indoors, and I will show you all things related to saffron farming, urban farming, and vertical farming, the bulbs, saffron tea, and the tea of saffron. Here you are,
Fantastic,
Max.
Fantastic. So let's just introduce this subject because this amazing man got in contact with us about a month ago. So Beanstalk is an international platform where we want to create the conversation, not just be part of the conversation. And as such, we're really keen to find different countries and different subjects to talk about. Today, we're talking about saffron farming. And I created this title of is saffron farming, is it the answer for international vertical farming? And to listen to our expert. So we are live today with Ardalan, this amazing individual, and we're going to find out more about this fascinating subject. So you are a doctor of philosophy. You've got an agricultural technology and a senior agricultural consultancy background at the Agricultural and Natural Resources Engineering Organization, Tehran, Iran. You've got an experienced agricultural consultant background with a history of working in the farming industry, and you're very well regarded as a skilled translator. He's got better English than me, cultivation expert, consulting expert, and project management expert. So with his background, he's significantly investigated vertical and urban farming and the potential commercial advantage of growing saffron on a vertical farming basis. So Ardalan, just if it's okay to ask, vertical farming is fascinating on a global basis for a number of reasons. So I have two jobs. I run Beanstalk Global, and we also have a recruitment business in the fresh produce sectors that sources mid-management to senior level people in agribusiness and fresh produce sectors. And we've been heavily involved in vertical farming on an international basis. And I'm still scratching my head because there seems to be that there's so many people with so much excitement about vertical farming, and everyone is so attracted to it, but there also seems to be a lot of naivety in regards to it. So we have a lot of individuals and companies coming to us saying, Max, we'd like to set up a vertical farming business. We think that we're going to make 40% margin selling microherbs or salads, and the retailers, be that in Europe, the UK or America, they'll come running to us because we're doing something different. But then when you look, especially the likes of America, in America, every large market town in America has a vertical farming setup, and there's lots of investors that put some money in. But then the question is, well, how much salad, how many microherbs can people eat? Is there actually a proven business model here? But there still seems to be this interest. There's still a lot of investment coming into it. So one thing that we were thinking of is whether there's going to be a different tact, whether vertical farming is going to go into a different direction. So we already have the likes of medicinal cannabis being grown on an international basis in some vertical farming setups. So let's get back to yourself. Before we get into vertical farming, I've given a little bit about your background, but how did you get involved in agriculture? What is your story, please?
Before growing saffron indoors, at the first, I would like to tell you about vertical farming, urban farming, and the role of agriculture in the life of people. Max, these days, agriculture is not only a science. Agriculture is not only a job. Agriculture is a passion. Agriculture is interest, because this is exactly like raising a child. The people they are with plant from seed to flowering to harvesting, and it is very interesting process because it's very interesting. And besides this, they can earn a lot of money and also, I mean, agricultural activities plays very important role in preventing all kind of mental diseases, depression, and OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder with these condition. I mean, urban living. Max, I would like during live that I would like completely see you. Okay, okay. Please do not just focus. I'm comfortable with you. Okay. And these days, I told you, Max, with increasing urban population and living in big cities like London, Tehran, New York, Tokyo, we do not have access to very big environment, 2,000 square meters, 1,000 square meters, 500 square meters, very hard to accessing to this environment, you know, for starting agricultural activities like button mushroom, growing saffron indoors. But vertical farming allows us that we can start with even 10 square meters, 20 square meters, 30 square meters. All of us in big cities, we have in our home, basement, underground, under roof, you know, in 10 square meters. This is not my idea. I'm seeing this process, you know, and vertical, so that in growing saffron indoors, so that in 60 square meters is equal 1 watt hectare. 60 square meters is equal 10,000 meters outdoor. For example, in 60 square meters, we can keep 6,000 kilograms of bulbs of saffron. In 1 hectare of outdoor, we can also keep 6,000 of kilograms of the bulbs of saffron. How? With shelving system, because the floor, 1 floor, 2 floor, 2 row of the shelves, and say the first floor, second floor, and the 6, we have even 7 floor of the shelves. In the vertical farming in 60 square meters, we can work in the button mushroom, exotic mushroom, medicinal mushroom, hydroponic fodder, leech farming, and the microgreen. You know, it is good news, because the 80% of equipment that we use in vertical farming or urban farming is the same. The shelves, the air handling unit, heating system, cooling system, light system, humidifying system, all of the same. During 1 year, we can have different crops, and we can experience, for example, in the summer, we can cultivate saffron. In the winter, we can button mushroom. In the, for example, the hydroponic fodder, forage, I mean hydroponic forage or hydroponic fodder, microgreen. This is good. 80% is the same, is the vertical farming. You know,
wow. So I didn't realize that you've got the ability to grow 2 crops within a season, because most of the vertical farming operations that we're aware of just grow the same crop. So you're really positive that this is the future, that this is the way to feed cities through vertical farming.
Exactly, but that is different. This is the growth period. For example, in this, do not mean, for example, in the simultaneously, for example, the 10 meters saffron and button mushroom. No, for example, during 2 months we can have the button mushroom. You know what is different is the growth period. For example, button mushroom takes 2 months. Reishi mushroom takes 4 months. Growing saffron takes 5 months. You know, but 80%. And we are not forced that purchase another equipment, but for example, 80% is the very good news. Yeah. And Max, do you have any question about the vertical farming? Yeah. Because I'm going to starting about the saffron.
Yes, please. Because so just go back. There's so much interest in vertical farming that but people seem to be trying to grow the same crops, and I'm just assuming that the supermarkets will pay them a lot of money for it, and that's not going to happen. Saffron, what's the end market for saffron? Who would look to consume? Who would look to buy saffron?
Saffron is expensive.
Yep.
And the answer is very clear. 30%, 40% of the total price is labor cost.
Okay.
Harvesting, separating the red part of saffron, drying saffron, and separating red part of the other part, labor cost. Okay. The answer is the labor cost. And it's, for example, in the traditional of cultivation of saffron, 40% and 50% in Iran, okay? In Iran and country like India is the labor cost, okay? But it's very interesting to tell you, this problem, 40% in growing saffron indoors, in the price of saffron labor cost is 20%. In traditional is even 50%. Wow. Why is the labor cost is high? Because the harvesting of flowers. The workers are forced, because the time of harvesting the flowers of saffron in the outdoor, okay? Because we do not have any cover, we do not have any ceiling. We are forced to harvest the flowers 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. before sunrise. You know why? Because the sunrise and the sun directly damage to this flower. After sunrise, they decrease the quality of saffron and also damage all crops.
Wow.
And the owner of the saffron farms are forced that they pay a lot of money to workers, but the majority of workers do not accept work in this time. Very hard.
Yeah.
But for example, the minority of the workers that accept, okay, a lot of money. For example, instead of $100, for example, $700, $1,000 to this AM. And it's very hard in the traditional because there are one surface, you know, there are one surface in the land, in the ground, in the one surface, and the workers are forced, bend, and damage to health. But in the growing saffron indoors, in the wooden boxes, this is exactly that happen in the room of the growing saffron indoors. Yeah. The bulbs and the one floor and the workers easily can harvesting finish, okay, without bending or damaging or 2 a.m. Okay, because in the growing saffron indoors, in the growing saffron completely covered, and we do not have any time limitation. In the 2 p.m. we can harvest. Yep. In the 3 p.m. we can harvest. 3 a.m. we can harvest. We do not have any time limitation. Okay, and growing saffron indoors eliminate all obstacles that we may be faced to this problem. For example, rodents, Max.
Wow.
There are numerous rodents and the mouse, animals, fungal diseases, mites, and all things in the traditional and the labor force. All reason one side and the high quality in the saffron. Okay? In the high quality of saffron. This is the saffron, Max. Let me, and I would like that show you. This is the saffron. This is the vet. Max, I told you I would like that see you, Max. Do not forget.
I wanted to show you off.
Max, this is the growing, it's the business sector, yes?
Yeah.
This is the market, yes? In the market, you purchase this exactly. Okay, in the flower harvesting, 70 kilogram of bulbs, 70 kilogram of bulbs gives you 1 kilogram of the right flowers, okay? In the growing saffron indoors, 60 kilogram of wet bulbs gives you. And good news, the number is when we have the, for example, the lower number of the other, for example, 60 kilogram. In the traditional, maybe 80 kilogram of wet bubble. You know, 60 kilograms of the wet bubble, the flowers gives you business saffron, dried saffron, okay? That is, and the quality of the saffron. Do you know why?
Tell me.
Do you know? Because I told you, because when we have all things under control, all things, irrigation, okay, about the related, the paying, the money, the charge of money, one side, and because in the growing saffron, we choose the big bulbs. You know, this is, for example, 40 grams. What is traditional? What is difference? Okay. Is my right hand is the big. In the growing saffron indoors, in the greenhouse, we choose the big. And this is the, for example, 10 grams, 12 grams, 9 grams. Okay. When this is big in the indoors, okay, when indoors, all of them you know, okay?
Okay.
Do not allow to fungal diseases, to mites, to flowers. Then in the all things under control, I told you, environmental factors, carbon dioxide, temperature, light, humidity, all things under control. But in the outdoors, maybe with this condition, climate change in, for example, at the first broadcast, you told me 10 centigrade and this 30 centigrade. Last week with 8 centigrade, 4 days ago in Tehran, 4 centigrade. We do not have under control in the climate, but in the vertical farming, all things in cover, and with the simple air handling unit, we can easily control the humidity. That we need in the researchers, the scientists told me, for example, told me to other people or wrote in the books, for example, the best centigrade for saffron indoors disease. But in the outdoor, we do not have any control of the environmental factors. Okay. But the rodents in the, for example, in 60 square meters, we do not allow to enter into any mouse, rodents, or when we have control on in the irrigation, we do not have any fungal diseases. Fungal diseases directly related to fungal diseases and mites. And when our bulbs is big, for example, 30 grams, do not allow to fungal diseases, to mites, but this a small bulb is weak. And easily the fungal diseases, for example, the max is very strong and do not allow to disease. For example, with teeny, for example, with 20 kilograms, you know, easily, for example, faced with the different diseases. Growing saffron indoor. At the first broadcast told you about the density, about the rule of density. You know, the density preventing all kinds of fungal diseases and mites, control on irrigation, and the most important thing, labor cost is significantly decrease in the money that we should pay in the growing side because in the force easily these wooden boxes in the growing saffron indoors we have numerous of wooden boxes. For example, in the 60 square meters we have 500 wooden boxes in the shelves, and the workers easily, for example, the second furrows, they have is easily harvested and without scaring of the decreasing quality of saffron because all things under control.
Yeah. And what is the market for saffron internationally? Is this a growing market?
Yes, it's so important. Let me tell you, this is the very important. 1 year ago, I investigated about the price of saffron in different countries in the market. It is very interesting. Tell you in London, in your country, each gram of saffron is $8. Each gram of saffron in the market is $8. In Spain is $5. Each gram of saffron is $5. In India, each gram of saffron is 500 rupees. In Bangladesh, each gram of saffron is 200 taka. In Italy, in Australia is 50 Australian dollars. In Canada, each gram of saffron is $5. But in Italy, I understood that each gram of saffron is for $30, $35. Why? It is very. I thought this is my wrong investigation because I understood this is wrong because numerous Italian person call me, hello Ardalan, and I would like that create this job. Numerous calling because 30 grams each gram of saffron. Italy, Spain. Why? Because I told you the main reason for in Iran and India. But the price of saffron. Why in Italy is so expensive? This is the climate. You know, because the months of harvesting, we have 1 month max. We have 1 month in harvesting of flowers. You know, in October, at the first of the autumn, and in October in Italy, we face the rain, and the rain do not allow to workers. Okay, do not allow to workers that harvesting the flowers, and they are complaining of the fungal diseases, for example, the rainy weather, the humidity. the bulb, the seed of the plants of Saffron Max is completely different from other plants. In the spring, all thing is green, yes?
Yep.
All plants, the birds, the sound of the beautiful, the sounds of the birds, the spring and summer, all thing is green, yes? All plant. But saffron in the summer, this is exactly that you can see in my hand. Asleep. All but in asleep, and the winter are alive. The saffron.
Okay.
Are asleep.
And with vertical farming of saffron, can you extend it? Can you harvest all year on farming saffron on a vertical farming basis?
No, in the up to 1 year, once time, the nature of the saffron once time, we cannot say, for example, with the growing saffron twice, more twice, just once time is October, the reason that told you is enough for starting the saffron, for insteading the growing saffron indoors instead of cultivation of saffron. Why? In the October is rainy. In Italy, the people can, with the cover, do not allow for example, the rainy weather. For example, in Russia, we have minus 20 centigrade in October, and it's wrong. We can cultivate minus 30 centigrade, minus 40 centigrade. When we have the completely cover, we do not allow to raining, to rodents, the very hot weather, the very cold summer, and exactly control the temperature that we need in the room. And the one reason, therefore, the main reason for the high price in the Italy is the climate, and we have really find the people that would like that in the world. But right now is numerous that would like that word. I told you in the the bulbs of saffron in summer and spring are asleep, and the winter that all plants is the asleep, the winter is the life. Okay,
got it. And so the market potential internationally is significant, is large for saffron.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I can't see numerous people from the international, all Africa, Europe, Asia, America, North America, Pakistan, all people would like that start this saffron, not as an agriculture job, as I told them, for example, they have another job, but would like that enter to this trade.
Okay, and do you export from Iran internationally?
We have limitation. This, for example, bulbs from Iran is prevented. Iran is prevented, but is regulated and the toughest regulation for exporting of saffron. It's a little hard for saffron, but we have export the saffron from Iran. But about bulbs, because it's for example, it's prevented, the bulbs, for propagation in the other country, because this is the Persian plant, This is especially for Iran, and do not. And if there is any smuggling, bulb, I can.
And Adlan, everyone is seeing you as the expert, so we're getting lots of questions in. So if it's okay, I'm just going to ask you some of these questions. One individual's asked, what is the cost difference between market grown and indoor grown saffron percentage wise? Is there a price difference?
The difference between Iran, we cannot say, for example, in indoors, okay, in the price, in the market, in the price is greenhouse, and in the outdoors, okay, and package, okay, and we cannot realize this is greenhouse or market, okay, but in the quality, if you're asked a question about the quality, completely different. Because this is the bulbs. The bulbs in the traditional is, and the bulbs is.
So Adlan, the quality of the saffron grown indoors.
This is exactly in the saffron in the greenhouse, okay? And this is the traditional, okay? For example.
Okay.
Please compare yourself. Please yourself compare, okay?
Yeah. So the quality of saffron grown indoors
and the size of the flower,
Yeah.
the size of the quality of the stigma, and the quality of the another part, and under control. When we do not face with the fungal diseases, with the mites, we are easily harvesting of flowers. You know, the processing of the growing saffron indoors, one side, and drying saffron is the other side. Because in the growing saffron indoors, we have time, we had enough time for drying saffron, you know, but in the traditional, the workers are forced, for example, 2 hours later, 3 hours later after harvesting in the outdoor, then significantly decrease the quality of saffron in the outdoor.
Yeah, fantastic. And Adlan, how do you source your seeds? Where do you source your seeds from? Because what someone has just asked the question: how do you source the quality of saffron seeds to grow, and how to harvest saffron indoors?
It's better that say the bulbs. It's named as the bulbs. Okay. The bulbs is the source of these, because the source is Iran, you know, but from Iran is prevented.
Yep.
In Europe, in the Netherlands, in the, for example, the other country, in the Kashmiri, you know, in the Kashmir,
yeah,
we have the source, but in the, I don't know, the other country, but this is the source of the bulb. The source of the bulb in Iran, but it's prevented. Okay.
Yep, got it. Okay. And then the next question from a friend of mine, Avril. Thank you very much. What are the ideal conditions, please, for harvesting vertically grown saffron? And would this normally be in October in the northern hemisphere? And how would this differ, if at all, in the southern hemisphere? So if we were growing saffron on a vertical farming basis,
October is the criteria for you. This is, you should look to the temperature. Okay, do not, for example, October is hot. You should look to the temperature. When temperature is decreased, is October. In the calendar, you should, for example, do not attend to, for example, the months. You should look to the, for example, the warming weather. For example, when is the warm, is the summer in your country, when is the cold, in the winter. When you are going to, for example, the move to the hot warm to the cold water, this is October. Okay. Yeah. October, because I would like that tell you, for example, 1 month in India, because it's completely different from in India, in Iran, in London, in the Australia, in the South Africa, in the other country.
Okay. And what temperature does saffron require to be grown indoors?
Oh, Max. Okay, let me tell you the story. Okay, do you agree?
Yep.
Let me tell you the story. It's the interesting story. Max, in the summer, when South Hemisphere or North, I don't know, but in the summer, okay, in the summer, we should purchase the bulbs. We should purchase the bulbs. Why? Because all bulbs are asleep. In the winter, they have leaves, roots, and we cannot separate. When separate this bulb, all damages is destroyed. But the time of the harvesting and the purchasing, you know, is the summer. Because can you see any leaves or roots? Can you see?
Yep, got it. Yep.
See leaves. You see? Can you see any leaves or root? No. Because this is the empathy. But it says leaves and the roots. Okay. In the summer, we do not have any roots, any leaves, and the best time for purchasing the bulbs. In the summer, you purchase with 60 square meters. Okay. But the people can start with 10 square meters, 20 square meters. But my criteria for this story is 60 square meters. Okay, Max, for 60 square meter in the summer, when the bulbs are asleep, you purchase 6,000 kilograms of bulbs. Okay, in the summer. Before that, they should provide the shelves, the wooden boxes, air handling unit, heating system, and cooling system. Heating system connected to the air handling unit for example, the winter, and the cooling system connected to the air handling unit for the summer that enter to the cold air. In the summer, we have 3 months in the season, yes? In the summer.
Yep.
During 3 months in the summer, you should control temperature 25 centigrade. Without light, without another controlling anything. Just 25 centigrade without light. Okay?
Got it. And sorry, I'd like media. What do you plant for indoor farming? What will you plant the saffron into? If you're not planting it in soil, what would you plant it into for vertical farming, please?
Okay, it's very easy. In the summer, when in the summer you purchase the bug, you do not need any soil. You do not need, and I will tell you how. We do not any soil. We do not have. It doesn't need that. For example, they use the soil because this is asleep. Okay, in the wooden boxes without soil in the summer because our bugs are asleep. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't need. It doesn't need any controlling of the soil. Just wooden, Max, in the summer, just wooden boxes empty. Enough, okay?
Wow.
Without soil, without hydroponic system, without aeroponic system, okay? Just, I told you, 25 centigrade of the temperature of the inside of environment, in the room, bathroom, in the bedroom, okay? 60 square meters. Before that, you should purchase the shelves, the iron shelves, the air handling unit, heating system, cooling system, and the two windows, one window at the top for the entering the light, and the window at the bottom for control of the oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, finish. Just, Max, at the first step, in the summer, after purchasing the bulb, enough, they located the bulbs in the wooden boxes, 25 centigrade during 3 months. Finish. Okay, because our asleep, you should store. You should store, and storing temperature is 25 centigrade. Humidity is around 60%.
Got it.
Without light, we do not need any light. We do not need controlling carbon dioxide. Okay.
Okay.
This is the first story of my story about summer. But in the October, the time in the September, I think the September. Because our friend that told about the North Hemisphere or Southern Hemisphere, after we finishing the hot thing of the summer and in the new season, for example, autumn, okay? When we start the autumn season, we should change the temperature. Temperature was, I think, 25 centigrade. Yes, Max?
Correct.
Was 25. Okay. At the beginning of the autumn, I mean the months before October, the months or 15 days before October, we should decrease the temperature 25 to 20 centigrade. Okay? Yes, Max?
Got it.
20 centigrade. And in the summer, both of windows are closed because we do not need to any light. We do not need the sunrise. We do not need to control of carbon dioxide. But after summer, at the beginning of autumn, when we changes the temperature to 20 centigrade, we should also open the window at the bottom for light, at the top for light, at the bottom for carbon dioxide. When we open the windows, carbon dioxide automatically decrease to 800 ppm. Okay, because in the summer when we close the amount of carbon dioxide is around 3,000 ppm, 4,000 ppm. It means that we do not have enough oxygen because we do not need to any oxygen. But in the before of the autumn, 15 days before October, we should open the window for entering the light of sun, for decreasing the amount of carbon dioxide to 800 ppm. Humidity was 60%, I think, yes?
Yep.
And this time we should turn on the humidifying system to 85%. Okay?
Got it.
This is exactly the shape of Max. This shape exactly in the summer, Max. You know, this is the summer because asleep. Yes?
Yeah.
During 15 days, after changing temperature to 20 centigrade, when we open the windows for light, for carbon dioxide to 800 ppm, humidity is 80%, bulbs gradually is, wake up. And this is named a sprout, bud. You know, in England, you say this bud, yes, or a sprout.
A sprout. It's
Okay,
sprouting.
this is the sprout that is in Iran known as tej. Say what is they say, Max? Tej.
It's sprouting. So we're sprouting.
In Iran, its name is tej.
Teach.
Okay, yes.
Let's go for that. Yeah.
It's okay. In England, in European, it is named as the sprout. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
This is 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters. Yes.
Got it.
In
Yeah,
the autumn.
okay. Yeah.
During 15 days, you have the temperature 20 centigrade. Okay.
Yep.
And humidity was 80%. And with opening the window, the size of window is 50 by 50 centimeters. Both of window 50 by 50 centimeters at the end of your building enough.
Yep.
50 by 50 centimeters. Both of window is open and completely vague of the. This is the situation in the summer and the situation in the autumn. Gradually wake to 10 centimeters. Okay. During 15 days. After 15 days, we have 10 centimeters of sprout, yes, or tej.
Wow.
This time, because the amount of carbon dioxide 800 ppm, the amount of light with opening should be over 1,500 lux.
Got it. Yep. Okay.
The amount of carbon dioxide 800 ppm, the amount of light is over 1,500 lux. And the temperature was 20 centigrade. Yes, but this time when reached to this size, I mean 12 centimeters, 10 centimeters, this time giving the cold shocking.
Yeah.
This time during 4 days or 3 days, we should show cold shocking 10 centigrade. During 10 days. All other factors is fixed. Yes. For example, humidity 80%, the amount of carbon dioxide is 80%. The light over 1,500 lux, but temperature during 10 days is 10 centigrade.
10 centigrade, got it. Okay.
Night and day. Okay, night and day. There isn't difference between day and night. Just 10 centigrade during 3 days or 4 days. After gradually, after cold shocking, you will face with you will see the beautiful flowers of saffron. The beautiful gradually appear. This time, when you see the flowers of the saffron in the bud, it is the time of the changing temperature to 17 centigrade, night and day. Wow. During 2 weeks, the bulbs gives you flowers, and you can harvest. You can harvest the flowers during 2 weeks. Okay. That we have 3 parts of the environmental factors. In the summer, 25 centigrade. Before October is 20 centigrade. And when we reach to tej, 10 centigrade is 10 centimeters. We have 10 centigrade. And after flowering, when you see the flowers, okay, the time of 17 centigrade, because the flowers do not grow under 17 centigrade. This is and during. Okay, the question is how we do not have any soil, because this is the traditional. Yes, this is the leaves, this is the root, this is the roots, and it is the leaves, it is the roots and the soil. How? Because this temperature I've experienced during 6 years, 7 years of growing saffron indoors in the temperature that I found the temperature that now without soil. This temperature, the time, because we do not allow the bulbs, for example, in the saffron, with temperature, we do not allow the bulbs any roots, any leaves, okay?
Yep.
And close the eyes of the bulb. When we do not have any roots, we do not have any leaves, okay? We do not have any soil, any hydroponic system, cocopeat, perlite. Okay, Max, this is exactly, for example, when with my child to a storing, for example, the facilities that for playing my child, daddy for example, the purchase this facility because I do not have enough money. Okay, that enough. The close him eyes.
Okay.
His eyes is enough. This is the bulbs exactly happens for the bulb. We do not allow to create it. How? With controlling temperature. Okay, 25 centigrade, 20 centigrade, 10 centigrade, and 17 centigrade. Then in the summer without light. After October, in the October we have the light over 1,500 lux and the humidity is 80%. All of these factors, we do not have any roots and leaves.
Wow.
If, Max, if you cannot control the temperature and in the summer, okay, and you do not have the great equipment for heating your environment, or you do not have suitable machines for cooling your system, if the temperature, okay, increases to over 30 centigrade, 20 centigrade, the leaves appear. That is, your money finished, your work is finished, okay? Then the temperature is simply say you, okay, Max, with thinking with yourself, it's very simple, 25 centigrade, 20 centigrade, okay, it's very simple. Not, this is the temperature, maybe even 3 centigrade over the temperature, under the temperature is maybe, okay? But when I told you, Max, in the summer, 25 centigrade, okay? When you cannot control over the 25, over 30 centigrade, maybe during the fungal diseases, maybe the leaves appear. Okay. In the October, I told you the 20 centigrade. If you cannot control the 20 centigrade and increases over 20 centigrade, for example, 22 centigrade, 22 centigrade, even 25 centigrade, all leaves appear. And this is wrong. This is for traditional cultivation. In the greenhouse, you shouldn't have any roots or leaves because we can provide, because in apartment, in the living, and we do not want to use, because this is the disturbance in our work. Okay, when I told you, Max, in the 17 centigrade, okay, when decrease even 1 centigrade to 18 centigrade or 19 centigrade, all leaves will appear, and you should provide the fertilizer, okay? And fertilizer is very hard in without. I told you the simple solving for this, okay? Control the temperature. The fertilizing, you should provide the hydroponic system. Hydroponic system is very expensive, okay? And with this conditional system, you can easily harvesting flower and you get a lot of money, okay? Then, therefore, one golden point, when you cannot control the temperature and increases the over the best temperature that I told you, you will face with the root leaves, okay? Okay, another golden point, when you cannot control the temperature and temperature decreasing under the temperature that I told you, for example, 20 centigrade, you cannot control, and because you do not, maybe you do not have the suitable heating system, okay? The temperature gradually, for example, 8 centigrade, enough, and creating the roots, okay? Decreasing temperature and low temperature, you will see the roots and the increase, the hot weather and the increasing temperature, the over the temperature that I told you is equal with the appearing the leaves.
Got it.
High temperature, increasing, creating the leaf, and low temperature is the you will face with the roots, and roots, creating roots or leaves. Yeah. It means the bulbs tell you, I want fertilizer, Max, I want to fertilize, I want to feed. Okay. You should purchase fertilizer, and provided the hydroponic system is very hard. Why? Then you should provide the panel with your environment, with the insulation is so important, air handling unit is so important, is the loop exhaust is so important, and the suitable air handling unit is so important. Heating system, cooling system, okay?
Fantastic. So just a couple of questions in. How do the plants get enough and equal light in a vertical setting when there are no LED lights?
Okay. LED light, light, I'm not going to say you is not so important. It's important, but not important rather than the amount of the carbon dioxide and temperature. Temperature, 25, 20 centigrade, 17 centigrade is so important, but the light for example, in the underground, for example, my friend in the underground work and do not have access to the sunrise and natural light. Yes, when with LED lamp is easily controlled. Is not problem. No problem with the LED. Simple can even with light easily. But they should the purchase lux meters. Okay, should meters, for example, lux meters. Okay, this is the 8 lux. Okay, add another LED lamp. Okay, 1000 lux. Okay, is enough. Okay, Erdalam told that over 1500 lux. Okay, and add another lamp system. Okay, this is very interesting. This is between the shelves. When you located the LED lamp between the shelves, all light that the bulbs need to the light is easily provided. And don't worry about it. Because there are many questions about the, because in the southern hemisphere, in the Sweden, in the Norway, do not have access to enough the sunrise max. Okay, but do not worry about that. And they can also use with LED even the simple light in the home that we can in the home. Okay.
Wow. Okay. And the equipment that you use to control the temperature, what do you use?
Okay. We have the boiler system. Usually, let me tell you, Max, you shouldn't use is the common heater, is the cooling heater that we use in the home. Is very wrong, because the bulbs, the flowers, or vertical farm, it is not especially for growing saffron indoors. It's also we can use for mushroom. We should use the air. We need to do the plastic duct, because in the air handling unit connected to the plastic duct or aeration channel. We should the aeration channel the diameter in 50 centimeters, and we should provide the temperature that need for the bulbs in the air, like air, not the common use, for example, the heater, but we should purchase the boiler, a small boiler, the machine that boiling the water to 100 centigrade, okay? In the boiler, when the temperature of the water reach to 100 centigrade, is via pipe, is connected to the air handling unit. In the air handling unit is the equipment 1 meters to 1 meters to 90 centimeters. Okay, for example, not is the exactly this my hand, is very big. In the air handling unit, but in the apartment located, can purchase and located easily in. Don't worry about that. For 60 square meters, air handling unit there is a coils, heating coils and heating coils. Okay, heating coil. When the boiler water warm, okay, connected to the coils. And water, for example, in the summer, okay, in the summer country, tropical countries, we need to cooling system, okay, in the chiller. Chiller is the machine that provide cold water 2 centigrade. Boiler is the machine that provide the warm water, for example, 100 centimeters, 80, 100 centimeters. All this water, the water of the heater, the water of the boiler, is via pipe connected to the coils in the air handling unit. And air handling unit, there is a fan. We have the axial or centrifugal fan, and easily converted the water, the warm water converted into warm air. Warm water converted into warm air, and warm air easily placed and located in the plastic duct, and the warm air in the winter in the cold season. You should continually play with the boiler and the chiller. Okay, okay. In the summer, for example, in London, okay, in the summer is even 35 centigrade. Yes, Max.
Sometimes
30 centigrade is okay.
No, normally 20s.
20. What is the temperature? The temperature 20 centigrade. Okay.
So a normal summer day in the UK would be 22.
For example, in India, Max. Okay, for example, in India, the temperature in the summer is even 40 centigrade. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
I told you 25 centigrade. Yes. Okay. Therefore you need to chiller. Yes. You need to cold air that circulate in the plastic duct. Therefore, you should purchase the chiller. The chiller name is the machine that provides the cold water, 2 centigrade, 3 centigrade, and the cold water with the electricity, with the gas, with the power, electricity, all things that is the technical point.
Yeah.
When this chiller provides the cold water, and cold water, the water that is temperature is 2 centigrade, connected via pipe, for example, is the east, and easily the cold water via cold in the air handling, there is a gadget, or there is a part named as the coils. You know, coils.
Coils, yeah.
This is the, okay, I told you chiller. Therefore, cooling. We need the cooling coils, and the cooling coil converted into cold water into cold air. And cold air easily circulate in the plastic duct, and there are a temperature sensor, okay? And continually works, and the sensor, you should regulate the temperature of the air handling 25 centigrade, and the machine air handling unit automatically the temperature of the environment 25 centigrade. Okay, okay, Max, in the atom, okay, because this is the temperature. You told me temperature, and temperature is not with 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And in the October, Max, yes, in the October, I told you the temperature should be 20 centigrade. Yes. Okay, what is the temperature in London right now?
12 degrees.
Okay, 12. Okay, that what we need for, you know, I told you 20 centigrade. Yes, this time, the time of 15 days before the flowering, we need to 20 centigrade. Okay, and that your temperature is, London's temperature is 12 centigrade.
Correct.
We lose 8 centigrade. Yes, therefore we should turn on the boiler.
Okay.
Okay, the boiler machine warm the water to 100 centigrade. When boiling, the warm water via the pipes, okay, placed to the coils. These heating coils, okay, heating coils in the winter or autumn, and cooling coils in the summer or warm water. Therefore, warm water inverted, placed in the pipes and connected to the air handling unit, and air handling unit via coils, heating coils, converted warm water to warm air, and warm air circulate in the plastic duct, and temperature sensor automatically regulates to 20 centigrade and continually work. When reached to 20 centigrade, okay, turn off, automatically turn off. Even in the night, in the very cold, in even 4 centigrade, and again work again, boiler work, and connected to the, and in the plastic duct, with plastic, and the hole with the 5 centimeters, the distance between two holes is 50 centimeters, and directly we have the air between two shelves and all regular. In addition to warming the environment, we have also the controlling of carbon dioxide. Okay, the using the common heater or cooling that we use in the home is decrease the carbon dioxide. But this air handling unit, because work with air, regulate your carbon dioxide to 800 ppm. 800 ppm max is so important. Over 1000 ppm, we do not have any failover. This is a very golden point.
It's fascinating. What an expert class we're getting on the subject of growing saffron. As one of our viewers has just said, since temperature plays such an important role in vertical farming, can we not control it so that we can grow the saffron in different times of the year? Because if we can control the light and we can control the temperature.
The answer is no. The nature, okay, the answer is no. It is better in the one stem. You should exactly to the target. You know, is the one stem is better that, for example, Max, each 1,000 kilogram of bulbs, okay, each 1,000 kilogram of bulbs, yes,
got it,
gives you 1.5 kilograms of saffron. Yes,
okay,
this is the saffron.
Yeah,
each kilogram, each thousand kilogram of bulbs of saffron gives you 1.5 or 2 kilograms of saffron. It is so important. Your focus will be in the increasing the quality, not, for example, when we have the control of temperature in winter, we can have the flower. Okay, in winter we can harvest. Pregnant, for example, in the woman, for example, pregnant 9 months. After 1 year, usually, for example, in the paper we can, okay, when the temperature, but I would like that tell you this is the nature plant. It is better we do not change the nature of the plant. Okay. This is the use, not misuse. For example, not for example, is the another use. For example, we should better. Okay, I told you the density main reserve for increasing your yield.
Yeah.
Density 60 square meters, 1 hectare. You know, you are forced in the 1 hectares. Okay, in the 60 square meters is equal 1 hectare. Density is so important. Okay, in the big city, when do you have access to 1 hectare in London, Max? Okay, with 20 square meters or 20 square meters, do you have access to 20 square meters? For example, the basement one. Okay, when it have the best money. Okay, it gives you the salary. The why? Yep. Okay, but the temperature is summer are asleep. Okay, October is flowering. It's better we do not change the amount of the growth period. For example, in winter we also flowering because this drying. When you dry the saffron, you can use over 2 years, over 1 year, you know. Yeah. But this is not saying like a button mushroom, you know, the fresh after 3 days all destroyed. You know, this is the drying system, and you can use even 8 months, 1 year. Yes. When you can dry, even your focus will be increasing the quality in one time rather than twice, third time in the summer. You shouldn't. Temperature in the summer, the bulbs are asleep. In the winter.
Got it. And the bulbs, do you just get one crop from one bulb, or can you replant and get another crop from the same bulb?
What? Let me repeat your question.
So you have one bulb. This is my saffron bulb.
Okay.
One bulb, and you get one crop from it. Can you plant it again and get a second crop?
Oh yes. Okay. This. You are enough once time purchase the bulb. You know, after flowering, after harvesting. Okay, after harvesting. This is a great question, Max. You are farmer. You are saffron farmer, Max.
Yeah. No.
Okay. After harvesting. Okay. Finish.
Yep.
You should place after harvest. You should place in the soil or soil. Add to the wooden boxes. Okay, these bulbs after 1 year, okay, gradually disappear, and these bulbs, this is the daughter, you know, this is the children, create. Okay, gradually this completely disappear, and these bulbs create and propagate the bulbs. You know, this is they propagate. You can, but this is the in this growing saffron indoors, it is enough once time. During 8 years, you can use of your bulbs, you know, because continually propagate. In the winter, the time of propagate in the autumn and the winter propagate. And the bulb, for example, you purchase for 60 square meters, I think 6,000 kilograms of bulbs. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
After 2 years, you will have 10,000 kilograms of bulbs. After 4 years, you will have 30,000 kilograms of bulbs. Propagate, you know, it is your art. It is your technique that you with using the fertilizer, using the controlling of temperature with purchasing. Because I continually to my trainees across the world. I have numerous trainees across the world, India, Netherlands. I tell them that purchase, the most important in part of growing saffron indoors is purchasing. They should, the bulbs over 20, over 30 grams. For example, these 10 grams doesn't work in growing saffron. This is good for traditional saffron. But when you once time purchase the strong bulb, when you spend a lot of money, once time is enough. In the future, during 8 years, you will have the big bulbs. You know, when my high is 180 centimeters, my son is, for example, has a suitable, acceptable high. You know, this is bulbs gives you not a small gives. This big bulbs gives you big bulbs in future. Okay, but when you purchase the small bulbs in the future, gives you a small. That this circle continually repeat, and the fungal diseases, This is the fungal diseases. But in the 60 square meters with these small bulbs, you cannot keep 6,000 kilograms of bulbs. You should provide, for example, 3,000 kilograms of bulbs. But
Okay.
we're choosing the big bulbs. You can keep in the wooden boxes easily 6,000 kilograms in the wooden boxes, max.
Well done. Adlan, it's a really interesting question that we had in from India. Do you suggest that vertical farming for saffron should be done in large size growing units, or do you feel that having smaller production units spread across the country is a better fit? So do you have a big building with it all in, or lots of little buildings?
Yes, in the vertical farming, if you should, if for example, if you have 1,000 square meters, okay, 1,000 square meters, you should divide to 100 square meter, 100 or 60 square meters that you can easily control. Of the small cost, this question, yes, because the best bulbs and the big size of the bulbs is Iran, and from Iran is prevented, you know. And other country, I cannot say, for example, the purchase over 30 grams, Then tell me where can I purchase? Tell me the others, but you know, because in Europe, there is, in Iran, for example, the big size of bulb, you know, maybe, I don't know, but it's even, this is, let me tell you one sentence, with even 20 grams, then do not worry about the size of it, even over 15 grams is okay. Can successful experience on growing saffron indoors, Max.
Got it. We've been talking for an hour and it's just flown by, and I don't think I've seen so many questions come in for a subject such as this before. And as someone said, it would be great to have a PowerPoint presentation or some sort of documentation that they could have from you, so that they could find out how to grow saffron. But that's a thing for another day. Adlan, before we wrap up, have you anything to say to all of us as to why we should get into saffron farming? What's your view? Why should we all look to be excited about farming saffron on a vertical farming basis, please?
Yes, my recommendation is start with 20 square meters with should experience. Max, this is the working, starting is the big university, is the biggest university in the world. Working, you know, do not scare, do not worry about that, and just start with even 10 square meters in your home. You know, all of us, we have at the broadcast tell you, you know, but for example, in the 3 months of year, we do not have any saffron in the environment, can replace with the button mushroom. They should experience, you know, they should experience with 10 square meters. You know, for example, in the wheat, in the other crops, I couldn't say, for example, with 10 square meters, but vertical farming is the gift of God, from God, you know, vertical farming is the experience in the further. Max, do you know the ginger? We are experiencing the ginger cultivation, the hydroponic ginger, and the other plants that's so expensive, you know, should experience with even 10 square meters right now. Just start, not in the, all things is good, university, class, PowerPoint, all things is good, but when one time they should, for example, act this knowledge in their home, you know.
Got it. So we've learned so much today. How do we follow you? How do we keep connected to you so we can learn more, please?
If look in the Instagram, is I have the strong media in the word Dr. Ardalan Agri in the Instagram.
Okay.
Dr. Ardalan Agri in Instagram, and LinkedIn. Immediately I share, and you can share this video, and all your viewer can connect with me. Thank you, Max.
No problem. I think we've had an absolute masterclass today from Adlan on saffron farming. As I said at the beginning, there's so many people looking to grow salads, lettuce. To grow something such as saffron is such an amazing area, especially because the limited research I've done, it shows that there's so much potential for it. It is a crop that's has such an insatiable demand on an international basis. Adlan, I think you're going to have so many people looking to make connections with you, and hopefully as we all get out of lockdown, we'll be able to hear you speak at various conferences on this as well. It's been a pleasure to have you on. Keep safe, and we'll continue to follow you and continue to promote your saffron farming.
Thank you, Max. Thanks for the invitation. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Bye bye.